Hi, my name is Masha Tisan. You're listening to the Creative Val podcast. We usually have segments at least once or twice in a month where we chat to different creatives, and today's conversation is really interesting because it's a continuation of what happened last time. So if you didn't get to listen to what happened last time, listen to our creative chat with Stella Njogo. This was one very interesting conversation, and now welcome to the second part of this chat. I hope you're going to stay put to the end because the lessons are just, there's just so much that I was able to learn from her, and I know you will learn a lot from her as well. So do tell me what you think about the conversation at the very end. So stay till the very end. Welcome again to the Creative Val podcast.
When you talk about we need to establish roots, because now we're talking about the shiny coin, and how do you now get to establish those roots? Is that where now strategy comes in?
Yes, exactly. So, and the word strategy can feel overwhelming, complicated sometimes, but it's like cooking. Like when you go to the kitchen to make...
It's complicated.
No, it's simple. It's like cooking. So like when you go to the kitchen to make something and you have all the ingredients in like one place, I'm like, you don't just take all of them and throw them into the pot and then cover the pot and go. Like, that's going to be a disastrous dish. So, like, the strategy is a roadmap. It's like, how do I, like, make a good chicken curry? Like, you need to first fry the spices, add things gradually so that the flavors will mesh into each other, like, nicely and slowly, and just create something very nice. But then if you just put everything in one pot, put all the spices and the chicken, and then add water, and then that's going to be so bad. It's the same ingredients entirely, but then like it's because you did like there was no method to it. So the method is what produces magic. Yeah, people don't realize that it's not that you need to like wake up one day and then produce a masterpiece. It's that gradual, slow method that eventually at the end of the trip, of the journey, it produces magic. So like finding your method is going to help you produce the magic at the end of the tunnel. So like always think about cooking. Like what you're doing is that you're cooking your career. So if you just put everything in one pot, just like you're doing everything at the same time, you're jumping everywhere, like it's going to be one hot mess. And you also feel it like even in your brain, you feel tired, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like your head is scattered. That feeling of being scattered, that's your body trying to warn you that stop jumping all over the place. Like just slow down. Like it's fine to have all these dreams, but it's okay. You can do all of them, but then you need to do one at a time. Like you need to do one, finish, cook the spices, finish, cook the onions, finish, add the chicken, cook it, finish, add the sauce, like add one thing at a time. And then at the end, you'll have this one very beautiful dish. So that's strategy. It's just pretty much choosing a roadmap, and then that gets you to somewhere. So the point number one is, what is this place you want to get to? Start small, actually. Don't think at it. I want to become the next Beyonce, and that's nice. That's very good, and it's possible. Like, yes, all dreams are valid. Yeah, so like one album this year that's done really well and that's marketed really well. Like what needs to happen? I need to write my songs, I need to work on my social media. So like it gives you steps immediately. Like once you decide your destination, then it immediately gives you steps that you need to work towards to get there. Yeah, so that's really a strategy. Just pick your goal and try and make it as achievable as possible. Like, yes, begin with your big goal of like, I want to be the next Beyonce, I want to be the next whoever. That's nice. But then also like before Beyonce became Beyonce, she has released a lot of albums. She has done many things. So like look at Beyonce in the first year. What did she do to build a foundation until she became who she is? So that's why you need to look. Don't look at Beyonce now because you are not at the same level. You can't do the same thing she's doing, because she put in the work and the effort. Yeah, so just that. Pick your short-term goal, then work backwards. See what needs to happen for that to be true.
Now, realistically speaking, how long does it take to formulate strategy? Is there like a time limit? How does strategy look like?
So first, what I say is that it can look however you want it to look. Some companies take like months to make like one grand strategy, but then because you are just one person, don't complicate it. Just sit down one afternoon with a pen and paper and then just write down. There's a formula which I not created, but it's like I boiled down. So it's called start with fun. Yeah, start with fun. So fun is an acronym. Yeah, so FUN, just the word fun. Start with fun. So F is foundations. So that is simply who are you and what do you value, and then just be truthful to yourself, because you'll know, like when you're lying, if what you value is, let's say, stability financially, or like you value, like you want to have nice shiny things, you want to have like cool stuff, we all want that. And if that's like your chief driving force, it's fine, that's you. If what you want is to do work that means something to people, then fine, yes, I value impact. Or like, or for example, like I value work that empowers women. Like if that's like really the thing that makes you feel happy and it makes you feel satisfied after you've done work, just be very true to who you are and the things that move you in life. Like when you look at your life, the things you've done, you'll see a common thread and a common theme. So just look for those, pick the things that you see that you value, pick at least 3 things that you value, and then now figure out with these values, like what does this mean I am, like who am I? Like this step of F is deciding who do I show up as in my work and in my jobs. So for example, like the kind of work doesn't really matter, it's more of how do you do the work. For example, if you're a painter, you could just be a painter who shows up, you do a decent job, like your lines are straight. But then like if you're a painter who, let's say, wants to add some more joy to the work that you do, like you always come in with a funny stencil at the corner of the walls that you paint, like that can be your signature. Or like if you're a writer, like you always add some poetic feel to the things that you write, that's your signature. Or like if you're an illustrator, like you always create characters who are Afrocentric and they promote the idea of like Black is beautiful, then that's you. That's how you approach your jobs. Like people who are relatable and strong. So just like pick how you want to show up in your jobs. Even as you're a beginner, even like as you're doing your small jobs, how do you want to show up to these small jobs? Because they're going to matter in the long run. Don't think that it's just like a small job just to help me pay my rent. Yeah, that's true. But then also it can count in the bigger picture, because you're building your portfolio. So how it starts is by you deciding, okay, fine, from now henceforth, I'll show up like this in all my jobs. I'll always add this little bit of magic to all my jobs. Even if they won't pay me for it, it's fine, because I want to build a reputation of being the person who does this thing. I want to be Stella who does this thing. I want to be Masha who does this thing. So F helps you decide, I want to be the person who does this thing. I want to be the person who is known to show up in this way. And all of that stems from your values. So that's why you begin with the values, then decide how you show up. So yeah, that's F, your fundamentals. And then there's U. So U is your user community. So that's, for example, that's who are you talking to? Like who is your ideal audience? Who do you want to see your work? Who do you want to view what you do? So for example, if you're a creative, and like for example you, Masha, like you do children's books, so who you want to see your work is, for example, parents or like schools or people who work with kids, for them to realize like the importance of having kid-centered design and kid-centered material. So that's going to be your immediate community. So in the work that you do, just look at who needs to see your work for you to make progress. So just note who those people are, what are their needs and wants, what do they want to know, what problems disturb them at night, and then use those problems to help you have ideas on projects or content that you can create. So for example, let's use you, Masha, with your business for kid-centered design. So like your audience, let's say, are teachers who teach kids who are like in a school setting. So what needs do they have? So they have all these textbooks which are all from other countries, which don't show a Kenya-centric type of story, and the people in the books don't look like the kids right there. So they're looking for a way to help the kids develop their identities positively and to be comfortable in their own skin. So like your work will be to create content and to create projects that empower teachers to teach kids how to be more of themselves. So just in that, it gives you a strategy. So okay, fine. So this year, it's good for me to create something for teachers to help them teach kids more effectively. So then you think, what can that be? Can it be like a PDF? or a video series. Like, it's for you to decide what that looks like. Then once you make that decision, then now okay, fine. So to make this series, how do I start? Then that's when you get to the next one. So we have F, foundation, who you are, how you want to show up, your users, and like, who are they? Define them very clearly and be specific. And then what are their needs? And then now N stands for new formats. So new formats are just like, how do you represent their needs and wants in new formats? So for example, the teachers want to teach kids how to love themselves and to love how they are in the world. So how do you help them as Masha? So that could be create videos for teachers to share in class, or create small pamphlets for them to share in class. So then you know what's your project for the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Then if that's your project, how do you make that project come to life? Then that's going to be your work. You focus on that. So for example, if like a new shiny thing comes in, like let's say you say TikTok, then if TikTok can help you accomplish this project better, then yes, jump onto it. But then if it doesn't, you ignore it because it doesn't help you accomplish this project. So that's how you sift and choose which format to pick, what thing to jump on. It's good to be aware of all the new things that come at you, but then always have that sieve. That FUN helps you sieve all those things. Okay, fine. Through my lens, like, it doesn't make sense for me. Then this, okay, fine, this thing works for me, I'll take it up. So that's how you know what to work with and what to leave alone. So like my big thing is that guys need to learn that it's okay not to be everywhere. It's okay not to be on all platforms. It's okay not to like be like jump onto everything. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
The pressure is real.
There is. Yeah, you don't have to like remove the pressure from yourself. You don't need to be everywhere. Like nobody said it's a must. It's you putting like undue pressure on yourself to be everywhere, because it's counterproductive if you feel overwhelmed, because it's getting you nowhere. But when you have that lens, that FUN lens that helps you focus and narrow on what you need to work on to serve the people who you're targeting, like once you have that lens, it helps you choose the things that you can jump on. If a trend makes sense for you, then by all means jump on it. If it does not, don't waste your time, because time is all you have. Time is your most precious resource. So if you waste it, like what's the point? Yeah, so it's really that simple. Imagine just one afternoon, one morning, 1-2 hours, 3 hours max, write down all those things, FUN, decide on a project. This is the one for this year, and I'm running with it. Then sit down with it and run. It's really that simple. Yeah.
So how do you ensure that the strategy you create, you're able to achieve the goals of your strategy at the end of the day?
Yeah. Okay. So with strategy, the biggest mistake I see people making is that it becomes too rigid, because it tells you like on Monday at 9 a.m. you always need to be writing, or like on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Like that doesn't work, like, because life will just throw things at you. There's a blackout today, you can't do anything, your Zoom stops working, what happens where, like just things happen. So like your strategy, it's more of a sieve that tells you, for this project to happen, I accomplish 1, 2, 3 things in this month to make progress into the next month. So to accomplish this 1, 2, 3 things, I have to work on, like, let's say, for example, like write 2 pages a week. That's very doable. So in that 1 week, just choose, like, maybe, for example, this week is more free than last week, so I can write like maybe on Monday mornings and Wednesday mornings. But if next week is crazy, I'll choose to like maybe work during the weekend and finish it on like a Saturday morning. So like, don't be too rigid with the execution. Think of it as it's a sieve that helps you choose how to arrange your life. It's not a stone that is immovable. It's your friend. It's not like something that's there to make your life harder. So it's like your planner tells you, like, in this week, you need to like write 2 blog posts and a few social media posts. So free yourself from that rigid timetable type of approach, because we waste so much time planning and thinking and overthinking and trying to say, what do I do? What do I go? Yeah. So like, remove all that pressure from thinking and planning, remove it entirely, and focus all of that wonderful energy on creating. Like, we need to focus more on putting out work. Yes.
There's also something you've mentioned. It's also very possible for you to have a method of how to cook and not end up cooking at all. You have the method, you have planned, you have done everything, and don't end up cooking at all. You also need to have the discipline to cook. For example, I think with creatives, it's even a problem we've been having, and it's something I also want. We might even have another podcast and discuss this with you. It's a discipline. You have to learn, in as much as the strategy should not constrain you, but sometimes I also feel we also need constraints. You show up regardless. Because honestly, even as you have been mentioning about these things, I was not aware, but I've been having strategy in my head. I know my users, I know their needs and everything else. But then sometimes you just don't end up starting. So it also goes to show there's a lot of discipline that comes into ensuring your strategy works. Yes, don't be hard on yourself, but regardless, you need to show up. If you commit, for example, to be doing blog posts every week, it doesn't matter. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah. I agree fully. And there's even a book that I can recommend for guys to read that can help you see the importance of discipline. Because if you look at all the great people, all the biggest creatives, like the one thing you'll see in common is like crazy discipline. They wake up every single day and they have a routine which they follow. So some are very strict, which are very hard for you to follow with your usual jobs and life and everything. But then, like, the main point is that they show up every day without an excuse. Because they say that being inspired is for amateurs, but discipline is what the real pros do. Like, you sit down and you create, whether there's anything in your head or not. Just sit there and look at the computer until something happens. So, as in that commitment to showing up. There's a book called Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield. So Turning Pro, I would recommend that. It shows you that what being a pro means. It means that you radically simplify your life towards the pursuit of your goals. Just radical simplification. And that includes also like a daily discipline. It's even daily, like very frequently, almost daily, like actually ideally daily, do something creative every single day. It can be even be for the like just 10 minutes, but build that muscle. And the more you use it, the more it becomes stronger. So read that book, Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield. It's really amazing. And then also like one book that can help you just like get started without overthinking, just begin the process. It's called Improv Wisdom by Patricia Ryan Madison. So yes, I'm a big reader. I read a lot. So that has really helped me. Yeah, it's helped me grow and helped me like learn from all these global creatives. And that's one thing I've seen in everyone who's successful, even like entrepreneurs, sports people, like every single person who's successful. If you look at their routines, they are so disciplined, it's crazy. As in, you need to like have such a focus on your craft and on what you're doing until it looks crazy. Like that's how you know that you're becoming a pro. Pros show up every day. So to be a pro, show up every day.
I love the conversation on strategy. There's a lot to discuss on it, and just having the discipline and showing up regardless. So let's now go back to you as a person. What are some of the disciplines you have tried to incorporate to your life, really helping you now to achieve things?
Okay, so first thing that I'm actively implementing is having a routine, because I work from the house. It's very easy to wake up at weird hours and just like lounge around the house and do nothing, and then at night you're like there typing away because you did nothing the whole day, so you feel guilty, then you work at night. So like I want to just like kill that whole vibe and behave like I'm going to the office. So I wake up early, I work out, and then I jump into work. So like that routine has been so helpful. Like it has like increased my productivity so much, as in it's amazing. Like this whole thing of just like waking up whenever and doing your work whenever, it even confuses your body, because your body thrives when you give it something to expect. Like the body loves routine actually. Like you think it doesn't, but it does. Like once you start to implement routine, you'll see that your body loves it. And also routine frees your mind from thinking too much of like, what do I do tomorrow with myself? Because if you already choose, like, for example, every morning I'll be doing 1, 2, 3 things, and then like it starts to become autopilot. So you don't think about such things. So it saves your best creative energy to help you create like amazing stuff. It doesn't waste your brain on just trying to figure out operational things or CG, what will I do? Then like remove all those small decisions and try and automate your schedule as much as possible. Like mine isn't perfect yet. It's a daily work in progress. Some weeks I'm like on top of things. Other weeks I'm like, this is a disaster. I woke up at Zuji when, but always forgive yourself quickly and then pick back up. If today I was lazy and dragging myself, it's fine. Tomorrow I'll be better. So just always pick yourself up very fast and then go back. Don't let a slump carry on too long. Just go back to a routine, and then your energy will come back. Yeah, so that's one thing that I've done. So routines have been very crucial for me. Then also because I work from the house, I try very much to speak with other humans outside, because it's very easy to be cocooned, and you need people as a creative. So one just for the human connection, because we are social beings. It helps you become a better version of yourself. It helps you become more of you. And then also for inspiration, and also for that idea exchange. So speak to people, try and find ways that work for you. So for example, for me, I began this meetup, which you have asked about, the Context Club meetup. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that is a way for me to meet other creative people within Nairobi and to co-create with them. So it's accomplishes two things. I get to meet new people, we get to meet each other, and then we also co-create something together. So it's both. We're building our creative muscles, and we're also building collaboration muscles, plus also building the habit of creating something every month, even something so small, and then sharing it with the world, because those three things can sometimes scare you so much when you're alone in the house. So if you just do them with people, then it's actually not scary. Okay, fine, let's do this more often. So yeah, it's just coming together, co-creating, and then sharing that with the world. That's really the biggest aim of that meetup. And it's of course scary for you, because you're who's going to show up? Is anyone going to show up? But I was you know what, if I feel the need for this, I'm sure there are people like me out there who will understand the importance of having such a space. And I'm beginning to see some reactions, so which is awesome, because it means that people are craving it. So it's going to of course be a slow build, because anything takes time to build up, but then I'm still hopeful, and I'm excited. So as in, just go out, meet people, interact, even if you can create with others, because as in there's such magic. I'm when you see how other guys think and how they approach the world and how they see things, it's so refreshing, it's so intriguing. You're wow, that's how you see life. Wow, okay, that's very different. And it helps you start to shift your worldview. Yeah, so even just seeing different stories, seeing different approaches to things, it really even inspires you to improve your process and to improve what you thought was possible or not possible in life. Yeah, so I'd really encourage you to go out and mingle with other creative people. It sparks something very interesting inside of you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know you've mentioned this as a by the way, but for me it's actually a small thing, but it's a big thing. Not necessarily an idea, but you saw how, especially from working from home, how it's important to have collaborations. And then an idea comes to your head. How about, because there's no place for creatives to have collaboration, let me create an opportunity for creatives to collaborate and do all those things you had in mind together. First of all, congratulations, because I know it is not so easy to go to that. That's your first. Can you talk to me about the process of creating the Contest Club meetup? What have you struggled with as a person? Because I know you may have struggled. It's not easy to start something for the first time.
Okay, so the most scary thing was actually when just getting the first one to happen. So I'm so glad that the guys who are helping me with this are people who have been in business for a while, so they are accustomed to beginning things where just start and then see how it goes. So I was guy, I'm not ready, I need to do this. And so it's you'll never be ready, just start and see how it goes. So I'm happy that they pushed me. Otherwise, I would not have begun. I would have stalled. Forever.
This idea for the Context Club meetup, at what point did you have it? And then what did you do? I see you consulted, but so you started at what was it, last year or 3 years ago, 50 years ago, 700?
Okay, fine. So the idea for this meetup began actually mid last year. Just it was just an idea boiling in my head. And just there in my head, like, what if I had a meetup? Well, then I was like, okay, fine. One day, I said, one time I'll have that. Then I packed that idea. Then in November, some people who I work with said, like, but Stella, I think you should have a meetup. So I was like, oh my God, are you in my head? How did you know that's a thing I'm thinking about? So I was like, okay, fine. Yes, let's have one. So it was slotted to begin actually last year in November. But then, like, it was a crazy month for me. It was so crazy. I was like, and I have no mental capacity to actually begin this, because first it's scary. So I'm like, I wanted to have like my mind fully there to just help me process that I'm going to lead a whole session with strangers. So I was like, I need to be like in my best mental self and at least run this properly. So I refused to begin last year. So it was meant to start last year, November. So I stalled until this year, Feb. So Feb, I was told, well, tunaanza.
Such a jokes.
Yeah, I was told you we are starting. I was like, fine, okay, fine. So I'm like, during that time between November and Feb, I was thinking about it, of like how the sequence will go, because like it's a sticky note session. So like we co-create, we discuss, then we make something at the end of the event. So it's different because there's no speaker who's there speaking the whole time. Then we just like sit and clap. It's not like a sit and clap listening type of event. It's we all talk, we all collaborate, we all share, then we all build something together. So it's very like we're all part of the show. It's not like we come and see one person who tells us wise words. That's not what I wanted to create. I wanted like that place where you feel like you're part of the community and like you're part of what's happening in the action. So that's what I wanted to build. So it needs a methodology for that to happen. So that's what I was creating, like the method and how it's going to roll out. So I was 80% ready by Feb. Then I was told, you'll never be 100, go do it. And then let's see how it goes. Yeah, so that was the first edition in Feb. And we had like 5 people show up, which was okay. I was like, oh, strangers came. 5 people showed up.
Wow, awesome. Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So I was happy. Yes, I was happy. And funny thing, as in guys booked to show up on Eventbrite. None of the guys who booked on Eventbrite showed up. It's people who saw the poster on WhatsApp. Imagine random people who didn't even like RSVP are the ones who showed up. So I was like, wow, okay, fine. That's lesson in marketing. Eventbrite is nonsense. Okay, it does not work for this. I think word of mouth is a better way of getting people to attend.
How many people signed up?
18.
18, awesome. Wow.
Yeah, on Eventbrite. Yeah.
It also goes to show they're interested.
Exactly. There was interest. I don't know what didn't push them to actually show up.
Yeah.
So guys actually vibe with the idea, but I think they just, I don't know if it's the location, like these things you learn with time. It could be the timing, it could be the location, it could be time of day. There are many things. It's a tricky location, I know, for people who are not driving especially.
Yeah. You need a boda or you need to drive or take an Uber.
Exactly. Yeah, you need a boda. So it's a tricky location. So I know like that's a big factor. So that's why I was like, okay, fine, this is not bad. I'll just keep on. I'll keep at it. And the next one is next week actually. And I haven't even yet marketed it. Yeah.
I'll be there.
I'm telling you, like the fear is constant. Like it doesn't go away. That's one thing like I'll tell people. The fear never goes away. You just power through regardless. Just do your thing and then see where it takes you. Go through that weird phase of, oh my God, like I mean, is this a bad idea? Is this good? Is it not? But just do it. See what happens. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing really right now. I'm just seeing what's going to happen and then see where it goes.
Congratulations for starting, because most people when they start, sometimes when you have, I've ever organized a camp, by the way. In my head, I had pictured 700 children turning up, and then they turned up like, I think around 10 on the first day. I was so discouraged, wanted to cry. But then everyone was telling me, oh my goodness, what? That's something. It also means something people are. These are people who believed in you. So you start with that and then you grow with that. So I love your field, because you had 5 people initially, but you're like, okay, I'll have another one. Because you see, you use that as a learning experience. By the time you do the 5th or the 7th one, it will be a big thing. It will be a very, very big thing. So would you, before we even now finish up and now talk about the details of the starting, what is the Context Club meetup? What is it about? And how can you be a part of it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So first I'll share with you a link that you can share with people to like join. There's a landing page that I made to join that up. So the vision of the Context Club is that I want all the creative people within Nairobi to find a space where you can just come and share your ideas. So every month there's a creative challenge that I pose to people. So like, for example, a clip or video, just like things, issues within the society, or like even something interesting that I feel like we can create something around. So first we discuss it, then sometimes we have a guest who speaks into that issue deeper, and then after that we now go and create a creative project from that. So like we create like maybe, let's say, a theme, something that you can all create around. Then after that we make something like post the event, like we all create something after something inspired by the event. So for example, if I write, I share a blog post or a poem or like whatever I want to share, and then if you design something, then like we share all of that within one space. So I began a page on IG which is not yet active, but then like the plan is to have a virtual gallery that is filled every single month. Like when people come up and create that concept, then like we all build something around that, then we share it on IG. Then gradually, as the community grows, as the club grows, then it's going to be like a very nice and rich resource that's like full of really cool ideas. Then we'll see where it goes. If brands want to come and partner with us and I don't know, like sponsor an issue and pay the guys who create for that, then who knows, like it can grow into something big or not. We'll just see. If it works, good. If it doesn't, we met, we created, and we made new friends. Either way, we win. Yeah. But the aim is just simply that we come together, create with one theme, and then showcase our work. So that's really the bottom line of the Context Club. Yeah.
And you've mentioned creatives. You know, this term creatives is a very big term. It's a big term. Who is a creative, by the way? Who do you mean? What do you
So I mean
mean?
creative professionals. So it could be people who actively create for work. So it can be yeah. So creative professionals, anybody who identifies as that is welcome. So it can be from any genre, designers, writers, filmmakers, anybody who makes creative items, creative content for work can come. Yeah. So anyone, and even guys who don't are welcome as well to just come and see what happens and to contribute to the ideas, because the name comes from like we all live in different contexts, like we all live in different bubbles. So I'm like, when we all come together, like we learn to empathize with each other. We learn how to understand guys who live in such a context, guys who work in such a context think like this, guys who come from this context think like this. So it even like helps you become a better human, because like you understand other people at a deeper level, like, oh, that's really what happens. Wow, I didn't know. So like such moments happen a lot, like, oh really, that's a thing, because people ask such questions, because like you're stuck in your own bubble, then you think that that's the whole world, but that's not the whole world. That's like a very tiny bit of the world. So it's also to like open your mind, to open your world view, and to see that like there is much more like away from what you know and from your reality. Yeah. So that's really the aim. Yeah, for you to experience different contexts. Yeah, that's the name Context Club. Like you come and experience other worlds besides your own.
I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So people who create for work, creative professionals, but then other people can as well come because there's input people give.
Exactly.
So what you're asking us to do now is you're asking us to sign up.
Yes.
There's a link you're going to share with us.
Yes, I'll share.
Sign up for the Context Club meetup.
Yeah.
And then we'll be sharing how often the meetup will be.
It'll be
is
monthly.
It a monthly gig?
Yes. It's a monthly.
Every month?
Yes.
February, March. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be a monthly meetup. Yeah, so like once you sign up, I'll be sharing like a monthly also newsletter, which is going to first include a prompt for you to create. So if you want to like respond to the prompt, then like once you respond to the prompt, I'll share like what is sent back to me on the page that I'll make for the Context Club. So the page is just like to build that habit of creating and opening your mind with other people. So it's a habit building kind of club. So it's beyond just being social. That's like one big nice aspect of it. But then like it helps you improve in your work, because I'm like, you get to be able to create every month. And it's a simple prompt. It's something that you can make in 1 or 2 hours or less. Then we'll see how it grows and morphs. Because like as things grow, like you begin to see new needs, you begin to see new things, you tweak as you go. So that's a format as of now. Then I'll see what needs to change as we keep growing and moving. Yeah.
That's a really good format. Congratulations. I can only imagine how it will look like in the month of August or September or December. Is there an exact date? Maybe it's like the third Saturday or the third Friday of every month, or it depends.
It was the first Friday of the month earlier. Then we've seen that it was a tricky date last time. So now I'm like, we've moved to the second Thursday every month. So that's why it's next week, Thursday. So we want to see if that's going to work better. So I think the first 1, 2, 3, 4 months will be experimental in terms of like just seeing what sticks, what doesn't stick. But for now, it's the second Thursday of every month. Yeah.
Second Thursday of every month. From what time?
So we changed the time from 4 to 5 to 7 p.m.
5 to 7 p.m. Venue? Where's the venue at?
209 State House Road, yeah. Lavalate, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I'll definitely sign up. That's something I'd be interested in. As a creative
call
professional.
a friend.
I'll call. I'll call so many.
Yeah.
It's a really good idea. For me, I think seeing your ideas come to life, honestly, seeing something that was in your head, overcoming the doubts, overcoming the 2 people and 3 people who show up, and maybe who are relatives, you just know the back of your head.
Or like those friends coming to clap for you, like, yeah, friends coming to support. Like, oh my God, I love you guys, but I feel like crying.
you have overcome even the doubt of just looking at it honestly, what am I telling people? All those things. And now you're trying to create a community of people. You're going through the doubt of thinking you're not even that of a creative. Who do you think you are, Stella?
There's that, exactly. Like, who am I? Like, who am I telling people to create? Am I Beyonce?
Who do you think you are? What are you telling me?
Yeah,
so you're going through all that now to try to create this whole space of having different creatives come up and just trying to show up every month for it. Honestly. Yeah. So I'm wishing you the very best of luck with the Context Club. I'll definitely be a part of the next one. It's on next week on Thursday.
Yeah, next week Thursday.
I'll make a point to be a part of the next one, and then just see it continue to the very end. So we'll be talking, and you know how it progresses to other days, so that you don't stop at the end of mid-month and say, I've changed my mind. I'm not doing the Context Club meetup. We'll have it virtually.
Yeah.
So we've postponed. And I think, honestly, this is a struggle everybody always has to have. Making your idea become a reality is not as easy as you think it is. Because, there's the idea, but now you have to make the idea look like a concept. And now you've talked about strategy. I'm very sure you have a strategy until the end of the year. Do you have it all till the end of the year?
For the Context Club, yes. Yeah, I have how I would like it to unfold. But like when rubber meets the road, things change. Like things are thrown up in the air. So I have the ideal plan, but we'll see what happens when it meets with real people.
Because it changes in time, honestly.
Yeah, it changes.
So there's the idea, and then there's also the display of ensuring you are achieving.
Yeah.
In terms of the books, especially for the work you do and you're working with creatives, honestly, let me ask, what books are you reading right now?
Okay, so I love Seth Godin. Like he's a constant influence in my life. So I keep rereading his books. So right now I'm reading This is Marketing by Seth Godin.
Awesome.
He's an amazing thought leader in the marketing and creative space. So just check him out. Yeah, I know. So he's a big influence on me. And then beyond Seth, I would say there's a book called Creative Confidence by Tom Kelly. So that's a good one for just like building practices around like getting work out. So yeah, Creative Confidence. And then I would say there's one that's a bit unusual, but it's a very fun way to bring out your artistic side and to just like help you have some more fun with the work that you do. It's called The Artist Way, and it's by Julia Cameron. Yeah, so it's a bit unusual. Then it's also quite practical. After every chapter, there's something for you to do.
The morning pages.
Oh yeah, done it. Yeah, it's a very unusual book.
I didn't finish that.
Morning pages, then the artistic dates every week. That was so fun.
I've actually I've maintained the artistic dates, but I've not.
You have?
I try to do a date every week, but sometimes I forget.
Oh.
I don't have the discipline.
That's nice.
But the
I
morning
maintained
pages
the
are too
morning
intense.
pages.
You maintain the
That's
morning
what
pages?
I maintained. Yes, that's what I maintained. Yeah.
I forgot. I wrote, I think the first 2 or 3 days, I was like, no, you morning pages, it's too much.
It's because for me it was like it really opened me up. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's like free therapy. It's like you remove all the gunk in your head, every single thing that's blocking you, you remove it all every morning. To me, it's awesome. It's like a mind shower. So that's why I stuck with it, because it really, really worked for me. So
I think I need to go back to it. Yeah, because it's an intense.
Yeah.
It's intense. You need to be very serious
3
about
pages.
it. So I need to apologize to myself for, because I didn't down. There's a place where you sign first.
Yeah.
Before you begin.
Oh my god. Yeah, you did the whole thing. Yeah.
I did 3 days. I even forgot.
That's a very good book.
And I get reminders every day. Morning pages. I'm thinking, I'm not doing you again. But I tried the dates anyway.
Gosh.
Yeah. So it's a really good books to learn. And especially as a podcast, our goal is to make people get to their full creative potential. Even as someone who's really passionate about creatives and creatives performing to their best as well. How do you as a person stay creative?
The creative spark.
Yeah.
So I think first thing, because I'm like, what works for me won't particularly work for you because you're all different. So I think like the most important thing is radical self-awareness, like really truly know yourself. And that sounds easy, but it's not. It's the hardest bit, like knowing yourself and knowing how you tick. That's why I think the book, like The Artist Way, it kind of starts peeling the layers of you. It shows you who you are. So I think that book is a good place to start, because like the one thing that actually keeps you creative is like when you start to begin to understand who you are, like you understand like when this happens, or like when I don't like remove the gunk from my head, I'm blocked, my head feels hazy, and I don't create anything. Like I just waste time and do nothing and make mediocre work. Or for example, like you learn your triggers, like things that make you become very stressed and block your mind. Once you learn those, like you begin to learn how to either avoid them entirely or how to manage them, because like stress is part of life. You can't entirely avoid stress, but you can learn how to manage it in a way that works for you. Yeah, because you're all very different. So I think the most important thing is radical self-awareness, and it comes through practices that you do, like almost on a daily. Pick things that work for you. It can even be like let's say a weekly chat with a friend who like knows you really well. Like always have a way to become objective about who you are and what you're doing. Like find a way to have a like bullseye perspective from like, so this is Stella looking at Stella like why I do like find a way to look at yourself away from what you do. Be objective about your own life, and then see, this is a weird pattern that I have. How do I stop this pattern from happening? Or how do I stop from like falling into this ditch or falling into these patterns? So first, establish your patterns, notice them, and then like choose the ones that work for you and know how to keep them going. And then also know how to fix them, like once you start deviating. So it's a lifetime process, I would say. It's not something that you learn once and then like, now I am fully self-aware and I am awesome and I will never deviate. No, every single it's like you learn, but first like really every single day strive to know yourself better and strive to like be in your best mental state. Like mental health for me right now has become like such a big thing. Like be very aware of what's going on in your head. If your head always feels foggy, always feels like there's like a cloud sitting on your head, or like you feel like you're always constantly blocked, there's something. Like find a way to remove all that gunk from your head, because there's a reason why that's happening, and you need to like start investigating. Either like you don't find a way to remove all that stuff from your head, because like it really starts from having a clear mind and just like having the space to even be creative. Because if you're always full of worries, full of, I don't know, past things, full of doubts and all of that, like doubts come, yes, that's true, but then like once your mind is clear, you can quickly spot them and chase them away, because like you have like a whole sequence made on like when I feel down, I do this thing to make me get cheered up. So you begin to notice your own patterns and then learn how to fix them. Like when like my energy is down, I listen to this thing, then it lifts my energy. Or if I want to make my best work, I wake up early, do my pages, write my journal, remove all the gunk, and then now that next hour after that, I make my best work. That's true for me. I don't know about you guys, but that's what works for me like really well. So I wake up, work out, do my pages, and then after that first hour or two, like my brain is on fire. I can write, I can make anything. Yeah, my brain is on fire. So that I noticed, because like earlier I was like, I'm a night owl, I work best at night. It's very it's untrue for me. It is not true. I don't work best at night. Yeah, because I tried like to like at CG work from 11 p.m. because ati usingizi ilipotea, like I'm not sleepy anymore, so let me just work. I was just doing it was meh work.
Yeah.
But then like once I found out the formula of like working out pages, then working, the work that I come up with in the morning is amazing.
Honestly.
So imagine doing that every morning.
I need to go back to my pages. Now that you've talked like that, I'll be doing my morning pages. So honestly, is it consistent? Is it a routine?
Yeah. Imagine it is. It's because I've seen results. So
how long have you done that consistently?
Let me just admit, like the first time that book, the first time I began doing pages was actually years ago. Ago. So, oh God, said you have been magical all that time. No, I began like I think in 2018 to read this book and test the pages. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I think just like 90 days in, I was on fire, then I stopped. So from 2018 up until this year again. So I'm not perfect. Like I've stayed, those are how many years? 3 years, almost 3 years. Until now, not this year, it's come back. But it's because this year, there's a book I read.
5 a.m. Club.
Yes. Yes, by Robin Sharma. So that book has really inspired me to build a routine. And then, like, once I began to implement, I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been missing in my life. Because I knew there's something missing. Yeah, the missing link. Because I was like, I work from home. I control my hours. So, like, I'm like, am I not like my full productive, creative self? Like, what's happening? What's the missing link? Then this book I read, I'm like, oh my God, this is the thing. Then I practiced it. Then like once I began, I was like, oh my God, this is what I was missing, because my body just felt instantly more alive. Like the waking up early, the working out first thing in the morning, the pages after working out, and then diving into work. Oh my, as in, I promise you that has been, it's been a very productive year, like from Jan. I was like, what? Why have I never discovered this so far? Yeah, as in I've done so much work. As in it's amazing. And the mental clarity is the best part. Like my mind feels right now so clear. Like I feel like I can work on anything. I can like take up 10 projects and not be overwhelmed, because I'll know how to arrange myself. So that feeling of being overwhelmed, it's always a signal that there's something missing. You need to like structure your life differently. Find whatever works for you. This works for me. It might not work for you, I don't know, but then for me it was like the missing link that I was like, oh my God, this is what I needed. Like just that routine, that structure, it made my brain like, oh yes, this is all we needed. And like I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out, like I don't know, 2-3 years from now, after working at that kind of level every single day.
Exactly.
As in, it can take you light years, like it can really build you, and it also helps you suppress the fear. Like the fear becomes more and more suppressed, because like you begin to trust yourself more, because you know that you can create more. So I'm like, you build this intense self-trust that makes you be able to suppress all the doubt, all the fear, because that never goes away. You just learn how to manage it. You just live with it, like you will go away, fear. Like I'm not listening to you. I am going to create, and that's what I do every single day. So like it helps you.
So we can confidently say that's the reason as to why you are able to at least even start the Context Club. Even if the 5 people, you're just there, okay, I have another one next week. You feel like you're more alive. It's like your year has just started.
Yes. Like I have so much energy for everything. So it's really amazing. Yeah. So get to that point for yourself and you'll feel happy. Like you'll feel that energy to like always to create and to work on things. Like yeah. So I think just reaching that point is already success for me. So like
Exactly.
no, it's just like actually producing work and then now moving and making strides in my career. And that's going to come because that's like a process. It takes time, but then like doing it every single day with a clear mind, it even makes you enjoy the journey. And that's really what you need to go for. I think just enjoy the journey because it's a long journey ahead. So it's better if you learn to make the days enjoyable. Routine sets you free. It's a paradox, but then but it really works. Yeah.
Exactly. I have enjoyed this conversation, and we, in a way, have a lot in common. So I'll clearly have you back in the podcast. There's a lot I have seen in your story that we can actually pick up and talk about. But I think we just get the general point is being really consistent. And I really want to talk to you 6 months down the line. I'm like, hey, Stella, what have you?
Oh no, that's pressure. Now I have to like keep up my stuff every day. Like, oh,
Very much.
you're going to come and check. Oh, okay.
I want you to talk to the creative or to the person who's listening right now. Because now we are in the month of March, and
Yeah.
all of us have been having our goals. It's still too early in the year to brush off the goals you had. But sometimes March is the month where the reality kind of checks in and you're back to your normal life. What's the one thing you have for creative who has a project? Everybody has a project. Like you have the Context Club meetup, probably have other things. I have a couple of projects I want to achieve by the end of the year. So what advice would you give someone like me or someone else who's listening?
Like one thing that's always on my heart is that we can be so hard on ourselves because like you're so ambitious, you have so many dreams, and you know that you can do so many things. So like you try, most times we make the mistake of over planning our years. Like we put like 5 projects and then we want to do them by the end of the year. Like, so first release yourself from the need to do 5 projects at the same time. Like just imagine like it's okay to choose 1 or 2. It's really okay. Choose 1 or 2 and then do them really well. You'll be so proud of yourself that you're making progress instead of doing 5 and then burning out by April, because that's what we usually do. Like you begin with psych, you do the 5, I'm doing things. Then by April, your mind is like, no, we're not doing anything, and then like you completely stop and then go into some real win and then like poop, then the year is over. So I would say first thing, free yourself from pressure. There's no ideal way of doing things. There's no ideal timeline that things should happen, and just know that it's okay to pick 1 or 2 things and then work on those for this year, and that's going to take you further than doing 5 and then burning out by June. So that's number 1, release yourself. And then 2, it's always like do things that make you feel more of yourself. So as in that sense of like sense that you're enough and that you have all that you need to accomplish your project. So like one thing that I've begun to see that's true, it's that when ideas come to you or projects come to your mind, it's because you can be able to do them. Don't ever think that you can't do it, or like you need to be a certain person or have certain connections or have certain things. Imagine just start. Don't try to have the perfect version. So imagine just trust yourself and then create post, make that rhythm, create, share. Don't create and then hold in your house. Your gifts are enough, your ideas are enough, your talent is enough for every single thing that you want to do. So as in, never doubt yourself, and you're well placed to do it. So always trust your instincts.
So now that you say any idea that comes to your mind is something you should believe in yourself. So get the idea, obey the idea, but then also be aware of the shiny coin and also strategize. That's the only way. And have discipline, because that's the only way from this conversation we are learning, we are able to achieve what it is we wanted to do.
So that's it for the very first chat, the creative chat with Stella Njogo. You can find Stella Njogo on all her platforms. She is on Instagram. She's on LinkedIn as well. I know you have learned a lot from this conversation, so please be sure. I'm going to put links on the Concept Club meetups, how you're able to join, how you're able to meet different creatives from Nairobi and beyond. Thank you so much for just being part of the community. So let's do as much as we can to be able to join the community. Let's be able to meet up and just be able to support Stella in her quest. I am so excited I've been able to join, and I'll attend the meetups that are available. So thank you so much for listening. Let's support Stella in all her endeavors. Yeah, so do have yourself an amazing week.